opponents for the last 5 years, damn near. You know, I think the last close fight that we've seen him have was with Triple G, and when Triple G was really giving them work, and you know they still gave it to Canelo regardless. But that was the closest fight that I've seen where it was a competition between back and forth with Canelo. Besides that, it's just been Canelo teeing off.
The most polarizing, fascinating, interesting debate show is live in the huddle.
The huddle. EP 245. Canelo Alvarez. Saul Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol. Bivol was going down Saturday. Or Bivol, whatever you want to call it. Right? I always go back and forth. Bivol, Bivol. Oh, all right. Woo. Listen, the reason why I laughed the way I just laughed is I take a sip of this water with some ice. You know how I feel about the ice in the water. We established that before, Zay. Love the ice with the water, man. I got to cool myself down because your boy's about to go off on somebody here. You see, the thing about the real Leel, and I said it before a couple times, is that I don't want away from the smoke. I am the smoke, okay? And a lot of people that are Canelo Alvarez fans think they're the biggest bullies in boxing, right? They can bully people in the comments, bully people in the DM. Let's not fear nobody. Okay, I'm going to talk my stuff if I want to talk my stuff, and guaranteed I'm going to talk my stuff today. Your man's is a coward. Let's start off with that, please. Before I even get to the fight, I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers. Okay, I know I'm going to ruffle a whole lot of feathers, right? Because Canelo got the worst fans in boxing. It is what it is, okay? Muchos gustos. Anyway, let's get right to it. All right, so a report dropped last night that I happened to see. That didn't surprise me at all. And it's from Tom Brown, who represents Spence and Jermall Charlo, who said that PBC offered Canelo Alvarez $45 million guaranteed. $45 million guaranteed to fight Charlo, and then a $55 million deal to fight either Spence at a catch weight of 164 pounds or David Benavidaz at 168 pounds. All right? This is the same guy that turned that deal down to fight Bivol and an aging 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin. This is your king, guys. Fellas that are Canelo Alvarez fans. This is your king right here. A guy that's turning down good loot to fight. You know, I'm not no shots at Bivol. He's a good fighter. But come on now. This deal was way better from a fan perspective and from a financial perspective. I want to say way better because it's around the same. But from a fan perspective, clearly a guy that's more concerned about legacy. I would think these are legacy fights, whether it be Spence, whether it be Charlo, whether it be Benavidaz. But as I stated before, and I've been stating before on the record, Canelo Alvarez is ducking black fighters. I just called it what it is. He's ducking African-American fighters. All right? He knows what I know, that African-American fighters give him the biggest work. Mayweather, even a victory over Laura. Those guys give him the work. This is the same dude that turned down $40 million to fight Demetrius Andrade for the belt that he said he wanted. And when Andrade relinquished that belt, he fought for that same belt. Andrade is undefeated. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what Canelo fans are going to come in my comments and say, I don't know boxing, I don't watch boxing. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, the truth is out there for you to see, and it's whether or not you want to take that truth and live with it or not. The guy is playing the politics of boxing. He's ducking. Let's call it what it is. He's ducking. All right, I'm tired of these people, you know, saving these athletes because they look up to these athletes and all that. Nah, call a spade a damn spade. The guy's ducking guys. He's ducking black fighters primarily. Let's just call it what it is. But nevertheless, Zay, I'm going to let you respond to that. And then I'm going to give you the first lob at it to crack at this fight coming up as well right after your take.
No, I think, you know, right now, I think before I was I'm an individual who not protecting, but I was on Canelo's side, like, oh, no, he's picking who he wants to fight. He's the top of the chain. He picks and chooses who he wants to fight, and that's fair. Now it's just looking ridiculous. $100 million to fight Charlo, and then your choice of Spence or Benavidaz, that's ridiculous. You know, I think it's getting to the point where he's becoming way worse than what Floyd Mayweather was. at one particular time, Floyd Mayweather was like, "Oh, you're ducking Pacquiao." I'm like, all right, we understand that Pacquiao and him had his own trajectories. They wanted to fight for who's A side, who's B side. I get that. It's a different story. But now it's like Canelo is just going around fighting these guys. Like these guys, he could beat. I'm not gonna denounce what Bivol could do in the ring. He's solid. I've seen some highlights. He's a solid fighter. He's not Canelo. We all know that he's not Canelo. The guys that we want to see him fight, Charlos, Spence's, Benavidaz, or more Benavidaz and Charlo. Spence just came into the fray. But Benavidaz and Charlo are the two guys that we wanted to see him fight. You were saying you wanted to see him fight Andrade for a while now. Almost, I think, probably a couple months. I was going to say a year, but a couple months.
Nah, I've actually been saying it for a year, to be honest with you.
It's been a while, and I think right now it's getting ridiculous. He's ducking. His name is not Saul. It's Canelo Duck Alvarez. That's his new name until he start fighting these guys. I already said it. Boxing is getting horrendous with just allowing these star fighters fighting these bums. Not bums, but guys that now their caliber. And everyone knows it. If the boxing fans know it, the committee knows it. Everyone that's watching the fight knows that Canelo's gonna beat up Bivol, whatever his name is. So it's getting to the point where it's outlandish, it is ridiculous, and I'm tired of watching it. It's getting bad. UFC is a reason why I keep bringing UFC up, because UFC is setting up the fights that everybody wants to see, the fair fights, the competition where it's equal essentially, or slightly above the below. Like it's not like a huge margin where these guys are too far away from each other. Boxing needs to catch up. It's getting way behind at times, and that's why it's a dying sport, because you keep putting on these bad fights every single time. Give him an ultimatum. You gotta fight this guy or you don't fight at all. Pick and choose. That's it.
Yeah, I would love to respond to that and throw the live right back up to you. I think if you're a boxing fan, you have to ask yourself, right? Those who like Canelo, am I Canelo over boxing, or am I boxing over Canelo? And be honest with yourself, because from a boxing standpoint, I'm pretty sure even Canelo fans can tell me they would rather see him fight Charlo, Benavidaz, or Charlo and Spence. Mm-hmm. Spence is a big box office draw, and he knows how to fight. Look what he did to you guys. He's too strong for the welterweights. Mm-hmm. He's too strong for the welterweights. He can fight Canelo. What they have in common, they both walk fighters down and break them down methodically. That's what they do. That's their style. And they big draws. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with that. I've been saying this on the record. I don't really need to beat the horse again, but I need people to realize what's going on. It's really in front of your face. There's no, it's right there in front of your face. So, Zay, I pass it over to you to preview this fight and give your predictions.
All right, real quick, this last thing. We just seen a weekend where Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano just headlined a fight. They I think the highest rated female fight in boxing history. And also, they headline, I believe, if I got the exact wording here, it says drew 1.5 million viewers, most all time for a female headline boxing broadcast. So that right there, that fight at its magnitude, it was already hyped up to be one of the greatest fights, women fights of all time. But it wound up being one of the greatest fights people have ever seen from viewers' responses and what they saw in that boxing ring. So they already paved the way for women boxing just off that alone, paving the way for women to go forward and see how this fighting is. Canelo ducking and doing all this stuff is prohibiting other fighters from really shining and paving a lane for boxers to really say we can make fights like these on a weekly basis, monthly basis, if we sat there and stopped doing this political bullcrap and putting on bad fights or going against these bad competitions. Like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, they might go multiple fights, but it paved the way for other women fighters today. Oh, if they could get here, that means we could get to this point and even expand it further. Canelo needs to think beyond just, I'm just going to cement my legacy. Your legacy is already tarnished because there's so much talent in your division and you're not fighting. Your talent, your legacy is already looking a little bleak. The light is dimming. It's not, you're not shining more. It's dimming. You have all these belts. Cool. These belts 10 years ago would have looked amazing when Mayweather did it, when Pacquiao did it. It would have looked amazing. Right now, there's so much talent in this boxing world that it looks really bad on your end because you're ducking the fighters in your division opposed to fighting them and getting in these big fights and really highlighting your name and cementing your legacy as you kept on talking about in these different interviews. But besides all that,
I'm going to respond to that. I do want to respond to that. because Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, that 1.5 million viewers is exactly what I've been saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you make the fights, we'll watch them. You make the fights, we'll watch them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. A lot of people saying boxing is a dying sport.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is, but if it is, why do you think it is? They got so much talent, bro. Look at those weight classes. The lightweight division, the middleweight division, the welterweight division, the heavyweight division. There's talent. There's more talent, in my honest opinion, than it was back then, bro. Boxing should be the best than it was back then. Back then, they had no daggone social media.
Mm-hmm.
We got social media. We got everything. We got the fighters. Make the fights. Go ahead, Zay.
Real quick, and I think man, this prediction is just upsetting because we know who's gonna win the fight. We know who's gonna win the fight. I mean, it's not like a question. It's not like, oh, Canelo's gonna be up against over. We know who's gonna win the dang fight. We did this with Caleb Plant. We did it with the guys before. Canelo is so above the guys he's fighting. We know, and I think that's why he's choosing the guy he's fighting, because he knows he's echelons above them. He's not gonna lose. He knows that already. I'm not saying he goes in there taking them lightly, but he just knows that they can't beat him. His work ethic is way beyond the light years of these fighters. You know, this guy is just picking apart. He's still reeling from that loss he took to Mayweather. I still feel like that because this guy mentions them every other day. Oh, Mayweather gives you another shot, I'll show him who's balls to the next one. Like, no, like get off that already. Like the brother's retired. Focus on the fights ahead of you. This guy keeps on talking about that one loss he took to Mayweather and uses it for everything he does, every decision he makes, promotions wise, marketing wise, fighting these fighters. Oh, I gotta cement my legacy. I gotta do this and that. Like, all right, bro. Anyway, this prediction, I got Canelo winning this fight definitively. I don't know if it's gonna be a knockout, but I think it's gonna be a clear, decisive win. He's gonna take him 12 rounds to hell. It's gonna be nothing but body shots, jabs, and hooks all day. And I believe this fight will stay in the middle of the ring. I don't think Canelo backs down his fighter or the fighter backs down Canelo. I think they'll stay in the middle of the ring and Canelo's just going to tee off because he's going to have a fun day. He's probably going to do things he never did before. He's probably going to do a 360 hook. He might do something crazy because at this point, Canelo is just toying with his competition. The guys are not there. They're not at his level. We've been watching Canelo Alvarez pick apart his opponents for the last 5 years damn near. You know, I think the last close fight that we've seen him have was with Triple G. And when Triple G was really giving them work. And, you know, they still gave it to Canelo regardless. But that was the closest fight that I've seen where it was a competition between back and forth with Canelo. Besides that, it's just been Canelo teeing off. That's always it has been. And I'm waiting to see a fight where he's going to have some turmoil because I've yet to see it. And it's getting annoying to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to doubt your wins. Like, we understand you're undeniable talent. But can I see you have some challenges? Can I see you fight a guy who's giving you some work? Like, you have to figure it out, get some adjustments through. Your game plan, we walked in with the game plan, and it's been working ever since for the last 5 years. There's no way you're fighting. There's no way your training is that perfect where you're just not even sweating in the damn ring that your game plan is working to that well. That means you're not fighting the level of competition that you should be fighting, and it's getting, you know, ridiculous. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter, but he is a duck. You know, that Canelo Duck Alvarez, and I'm sticking to that name.
I mean, look, Callum Smith is not going to get the job done. That's not a good fight. Sergey Kovalev is not out of his prime. It's not going to get the job done. I mean, the list goes on. Billy Joe Saunders, the guy came and punched me and keep me off my feet. I mean, come on, bro. He could punch me. I do the wiggle. I mean, the guy got no power. Okay. These are not going to cut it. But anyway, to the fight. I do think Bivol do have some power. I mean, the guy's a light heavyweight, so there is power in his hands. Even if it's on the lighter side, virtue of class, he has power. And he could jab. You know, he got good movement. That's one thing he has. He's a good jabber. I say he's a rich man's Billy Joe Saunders. You know, Billy Joe Saunders was a guy that was able to move and utilize the big ring to try to move away from Canelo and basically run away from Canelo, but didn't have nothing to offer back. He's a rich man's Billy Joe. He can move around. He could jab. He can, you know, have some type of power. But my question is the power good enough where Canelo can respect it? Because if Canelo can't respect that power, it's going to be a long night, and it's going to be after appointing the fight. where we get to the later rounds, like we saw with Caleb Plant, like we saw with Billy Joe, where Canelo and them shots to the body is just going to rear and take its toll on you as the fight progresses. It start to slow you down until you get broken down mentally and physically and methodically. So does he have power that Canelo can respect? Triple G had power in his prime that Canelo could have respect. That's why that fight was good. But I don't know if Bevo has it. We'll see if he does. And that's my predictions. I'm going to go with Canelo to break him down late in the fight. Round 11, I'll go 11. I get Canelo by virtue of a knockout 11th round stoppage. And yeah, that's that, bro. Ain't need to say more. I want to see this fight. I'm probably going to watch the fight because I'm a boxing fan. But honestly, that's about it, bro. That's my predictions. Canelo's going to walk all over him, and he's going to fight an old Triple G next, and he's going to beat him down too. So if you want my prediction before the fight even get made, I got Canelo over Triple G. And what? Let's go to 2023 for my next predictions when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. Lil Shadamas on the mic. Good night. I'm done.
The Can You Dig It Sports Radio Network is here. Revolutionize the game of media. Be a dig.
Not getting tired of watching In the Huddle over and over again. So like and subscribe to the channel and receive these new notifications of new uploaded content that will be coming your way. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.